This is truly an unprecedented situation.
Moments of fear.
We need people to start working from home where they possibly can.
How on earth did it come to this?
Hi guys, we are from Group 3 and today me, myself, Max and Nora Asmina will be talking about the COVID-19 vaccine. First of all, I'll be introducing our groupmate which consists of Marisa, Maria, Nora Asmina, Mohan and myself, Max. As you already know, COVID-19 is an illness caused by a novel coronavirus called Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2. The virus is spread between people in close proximity or when virus containing droplets are breathed or come into direct contact with the eyes, nose or mouth. So, the outbreak began in the Huanan seafood and animal market in Wuhan, China. It gave evidence of animal to human transmission through the sale of live animals and seafood. Following that, the virus was observed in an increasing number of patients both inside and outside Wuhan city, implying person-to-person transmission. As of 5th of June 2021, the World Health Organization has received reports of 172 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 3.7 million of deaths. COVID-19 could be the cause of fever, sore throat, vomiting, loss of sense of taste and smell, fatigue, and breathing difficulties. These symptoms might appear anywhere from 2 to 14 days after being infected to the virus. What are the effects of COVID-19? The form of pneumonia linked with COVID-19 has the potential to harm the tiny air sac in the lung and cause long-term dyspnea. It can also harm other organs such as the heart muscles, which results in cardiac problems and affect our brain by inducing stroke, seizures, and increased risk of Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's disease. So, what is a vaccine? Vaccine is a biological product that can safely induce an immune response and provide protection against pathogens by pushing the immune system to create specific antibodies and train the body to build resistance. Vaccines are mostly administered through an injection, but some may be given either orally or through the nose. A vaccine contains a few essential ingredients such as antigen, which is a weakened form of the virus so that the body recognizes the pathogen for future encounters, and then adjuvants, which boost immune response, preservative to make the vaccine stay effective, stabilizer to protect the vaccine during storage and transportation, and lastly, natural ingredients that occurs in the human body. When you are vaccinated, your body will produce responses which indicates that the vaccine is working hand in hand with your body. First, the body recognizes the virus and produces antibodies to fight the disease. B memory cells are then activated and remember how to fight the virus. From an immunological point of view, the innate immune system recognizes epitopes on the antigen to stimulate immune recognition. Components of the immune system will then opsonize or bind to the agent and engulf it with antigen-presenting cells. Antigen-presenting cells will then process the antigens and insert on the surface along with the MHC protein. For viral antigen, cell-mediated immunity is triggered. Thus, if more people in the community are vaccinated, less people will be vulnerable to the disease. Therefore, there is a low possibility for the pathogen to circulate and for an infected person to infect others. The indirect protection from an infectious disease that happens when immunity develops in a population called herd immunity. It exists when individuals who are not immune live in a community with high proportion of immunity and have a reduced risk to contract the disease. So, the objective of a vaccine is to protect you and others around you. Not everyone can be vaccinated, hence, those who are vulnerable rely on others being vaccinated to ensure their safety in a vaccine-preventable disease community.
Do you know that doctors who have been vaccinated against COVID-19 were delighted when the vaccine gave them mild to moderate side effects, like a low-grade fever or muscle aches? That is because those symptoms are positive signs that the immune system is responding to the vaccine or specifically the antigen and is gearing up to fight the virus. So these side effects usually go away after a few days. Sadly, COVID-19 vaccine is not for everyone. CDC advises that people who have had a severe allergic reaction to any of the ingredients in the COVID-19 vaccine to not get inoculated. So those with a history of severe allergic reaction that are not related to vaccination can still get vaccinated. Furthermore, the mRNA of the vaccines are unlikely to pose a risk to the pregnant person, and there is an associated of slightly increased risk of premature birth. Therefore, vaccines are not recommended for women who are pregnant. Moreover, children account for less than 3% of diagnosed COVID-19 cases and tend to experience less severe disease and a better prognosis compared to adults, so they are not considered a priority for vaccination at the current time. And lastly is people with pre-existing health condition, such as immunocompromised people, as it is possible that their immune response to the vaccine may be weaker and they may be less well protected. There are three main types of vaccines that are widely acquired by Malaysia, which are Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and Sinovac vaccines. The Pfizer vaccine is an mRNA vaccine which uses mRNA molecules to stimulate the immune response in order to recognize the targeted virus protein. Once the mRNA vaccine is administered, the mRNA sequence enters the individual cell and produces the specific virus protein that can trigger the adaptive immunity. The AstraZeneca vaccine, on the other hand, is a type of vaccine called adenovirus or viral vector. The AstraZeneca team used a modified version of a chimpanzee adenovirus and added the gene for the coronavirus spike protein to the adenovirus. It can enter the cells, but it cannot replicate inside them. Viral vector vaccines contain modified virus to transport the antigen genetic code into human cells and produce a targeted protein. This method uses a viral vector to deliver the genetic material of the targeted virus, which will then stimulate the immune response. Meanwhile, Sinovac vaccines contain viruses that have been inactivated, either using high heat, chemical, or radiation. To create Sinovac, the researchers grew large stocks of the coronavirus in monkey kidney cells. Then, they doused the viruses with beta-propiolactone, which disabled the coronaviruses. The inactivated coronaviruses could no longer replicate, but their proteins, including the spike protein, remain intact. The inactivated viruses are drawn out and are mixed with adjuvants, which function in stimulating the immune system to boost its response to a vaccine. During this pandemic situation, people have rumored certain myths involving the COVID-19 vaccination, causing misconceptions and leads the society into believing false claims, thus making the public feeling scared to get the vaccine. So we have decided to shoot down two of the most common myths that's circulating regarding COVID-19 vaccination. The first one is, does COVID-19 vaccines change your DNA? The answer is no. The messenger RNA of COVID-19 vaccine does enter our cells, but it does not enter the nucleus of the cells where our DNA resides. The mRNA does its job to cause the cell to make protein in order to stimulate the immune system. After that, they quickly breaks down without affecting our DNA. The second misconception is, does the COVID-19 vaccine affect fertility? This confusion arises when a false report surfaced on social media saying that the spike protein on this coronavirus was the same as another spike protein called syncytin-1 that is involved in the growth and attachment of the placenta during pregnancy. However, the two spike proteins are completely different and distinct. Thus, getting the COVID-19 vaccine will not affect the fertility of women who are planning to get pregnant. Even though the COVID-19 vaccines are proven to be effective, a small percentage of people who are fully vaccinated will still get COVID-19 if they are exposed to the virus. It typically takes about 2 weeks for the body to build protection after vaccination. So a person could get sick if the vaccine has not had enough time to provide protection or if the infection was from a new variant. Hence, it is recommended to people, whether vaccinated or not, to take everyday actions to protect themselves and others. In the meanwhile, getting vaccinated and convincing your friends and loved ones to do the same is our best means of moving out of this crisis.